Welcome back, guys. So, without further ado, all I'm doing in this video is literally just talking about CPU Nationals, how it went, what my lifts were like, and the days leading up to it. So, we're gonna get started here. Perfect. So I have some timestamps of the live stream for when I did my lifts. So we're gonna look through each one individually, and we're gonna break down what happened and how I was feeling. So we're gonna start with days prior. So the days prior to my competition, I was starting to get sick. I was in the middle of a water cut, or I was in the middle of water loading and doing keto to deplete my glycogen levels so that I don't store as much water. And I just started to feel sick about Sunday night. That's 3 nights before the competition, before I weigh in. And at first I thought I was just gonna pass and be like, oh, maybe I'm just feeling bad today. It'll go away tomorrow. The next day it just got worse and it kept getting worse. So the night before, I had roughly about 3 pounds to cut, and I couldn't breathe out of my nostrils. I had a headache and I just wasn't feeling it. So I went and sat in the sauna for a while, and I stopped eating 16 hours prior. And then eventually I went to bed. I woke up that morning weighing exactly 66 kilos. So I literally spit for half hour. And when I weighed in the morning of the competition at 6:30 a.m., I made the weight class by like 0.2 of a kilogram or 0.3 of a pound or something like that. I just barely made the weight class, which is warming up in the warm-up room. I wasn't feeling too good. I had a lot of pressure in my head, couldn't stop blowing my nose, and I wasn't feeling super hungry. My girlfriend brought me donuts, so thank you to her. That definitely helped a lot. But 8:30 approached, and I was the first person to step on stage because out of all of the sub-juniors, I had the weakest squat. That's just the way it is. I definitely lost a lot of strength making this cut down to the 66 kilogram weight class. If I were to do it again, if I were to do all of this over again, I definitely wouldn't have cut down to 66, but I didn't know that prior, so I thought I was doing the right thing. It wasn't until I reached the weight that I wanted to reach that I realized it wasn't what I hoped it was to be. I lost a lot of strength, wasted a lot of time, and broke down my mental barrier so much, and it was just so exhausting. But yeah, that's where I was at with it. But we're gonna look at my first squat, and we're gonna see how that goes. Squat 1, 35, 45.
Oh, and we have
Nathaniel, so I opened my squat
Woodward
with
starting
145 kilos, which is 320 pounds.
Sub-junior 66.
And it definitely felt a lot heavier than I was expecting it to feel. Warming up, other than my head having a lot of pressure in it, my squats felt fine. They felt
looks like he made light work of that, met the referees.
But a good lift.
They agree.
So that was 145 kilos. I then proceeded to jump to 152.5 kilograms, which we will watch in a second.
Bars loaded.
And bars loaded for Nathaniel Woodward. 152.5 kilos, second attempt. He hit his opener.
I didn't have a problem on racking it at all. I definitely did struggle. I shot my butt up first as soon as I started to push out of the hole, which kind of like made me lean over, but it was fine. I muscled the weight up, got 3 white lights on that one.
Goes down, comes back up. Good strength
like
there.
Work, but still, I think, yes.
And 3 white lights.
All right, we're going to go.
Wasn't too disappointed about it. Definitely felt a lot heavier than my first one, which isn't good because literally 5 days when I did my last squat session prepping for nationals, I was doing 325 for 3 doubles, and they were feeling very light. Like I could have done triples on them, and now I did 336 5 days later, and it was brutal. So I then proceeded to jump just 2.5 kilos right up to 155 kilos.
Borrow other friends' singlets and just worn them. But Ethan with a 225 squat like that, I think he's been at an international event before. Anyone on the live stream knows any better, please let me know. Okay, Nathaniel, 155. He misses on his second. Let's see if he got deep
I thought
enough.
it looked better than his second. What do they say? We got
And
three
3
Good
white
work.
lights. My mistake, he didn't miss it on his second.
Yeah, so I didn't miss it on my second lift. It definitely looked a lot heavier, but to me, it felt like I could have gone up 2.5 more kilos. But I'm happy that I didn't, because I'm glad I got all 3 squats. My squats, yeah, other than a lot of pressure in my head and my nose being stiffly and I wasn't feeling well, squats went fine. I definitely, they were okay. I did the squats were the exact same as I totaled on my last lift a month prior when I had first made my weight. So now we're on to bench. My bench was feeling good. I didn't have an issue with my bench at all. I wanted to bench 110 or 112.5, depending on the day. Does not matter. And I did end up attempting that in my last bench. 138.
At tons of local, regional, provincial championships. And you'll notice a lot of the athletes here are coming out with the SBD apparel. They've got a booth set up here at the event. They've got lots of stuff available for you. They got some new gear. They got some old gear. So if you haven't already checked them out near at the venue, be sure to go to, if you're on the live stream, go to their website, see what they've got, see what's on clearance. Get that birthday present, get that Christmas present early. Nathaniel Woodward, in his SBD singlet, hits his opener. 3 white lights.
So my bench was not the lightest bench, or the weakest bench, so I didn't have to go first, which was nice. That definitely was a confidence booster, even though my squat was last place every single time. Actually, it was tied with second. There was another sub-junior who was 2 weight classes above me, and he was squatting the same as me every single time. But because I was in the lighter weight class, I had to go on stage first, but I was tied for last. So, and I was 2 weight classes below him. But that's besides the point.
Okay, Nathaniel, Manitoba lifter. Bench number 2 went up 5 kilos from his opener. Let's see how this moves. He's got to set those feet. Drives it back and up. Bar's a little bit uneven, but he's able to work with it.
More white lights.
Yeah, but even as you see, like as the bar's coming down to my chest, you can see that my left arm is going down a little bit faster, a little bit more crooked than my right arm. So once again, my hand placement was off. I don't know why I kept doing that, but it kept happening. And even for the third one, it happened. So I jumped to 110 for my third, which is what I wanted to hit at nationals when I was doing my testing openers.
Pretty hard. So we'll see what happens with Nathaniel here. He opened at 102.5. Bar was a little bit off. Went 107.5. You could see it amplified as it was leaning towards one side. So now he's going up just 2.5 kilos. Let's see if he's got the strength for that extra 5 pounds. Oh, put some effort and some muscle into that.
Disclaimer, I did end up missing it. This is 242.5 pounds. I missed the bench. I got the weight up though. What happened was I got called by 2 of the judges on down up. What had happened was when I had set up on the bench, I set myself up too close to the unrack. So when I had pressed, and instead of the bar going completely straight down and straight up, I go completely straight down, and then I kind of almost push up a little bit. It just allows me to drive through a little bit better, and a little more powerful. But when I drove through, my left arm ended up hitting the bottom of the rack or whatever, hit the bottom of the unrack. So it bounced down, and then I had to move it around the rack to finish the lockout. So when I was watching this video prior, I actually couldn't see it on the video. So I don't know if you guys will notice it, but I do end up hitting the rack, and the 2 judges call it down up movement, which is 100% understandable. It was a down up movement, but if I hadn't have hit the rack, I would have 100% got this 110 kilos, but I hit the rack, so I didn't. There's a slight down movement. I see it now, but before watching it, I was like, there's no way that I shouldn't have been called on that. But I understand that why I was called on it. But oh well. I was happy with bench. All things aside, bench was good. Didn't really have an issue with it. By then, I had started feeling better. There's less pressure in my head. My nose wasn't as runny. I started to feel more awake and more fueled up as the meet went on. So squat was fine. Bench was fine. That was sad. I wanted to go for a 9 out of 9 meet, and right there I knew that no longer was I getting that 9 out of 9 meet. And that kind of disappointed me a lot. Kind of played a little bit mind games with me because I knew that I was going to get 2nd place, and now I didn't even get a 9 out of 9 meet, which kind of hurt. But whatever. We're going to go check out deadlifts. So I had originally opened my deadlifts at 205 kilos. That was going to be my opening deadlift. And literally 30 seconds, or not 30 seconds, literally like, I think it was 2 minutes before I walked on stage, I was warming up and I did like 195 kilos, and it was so heavy. It was ridiculously heavy. So I went and I changed my opener from 205 to 200, 440 pounds, and that was still ridiculous. So we're going to go check it out.
Kids that one time mommy or daddy was a champion. We got Nathaniel Woodward coming in a 200 kilo opener. And his build does favor the deadlift from what I can see here. He's got some nice long leverages, arms, pulls his head through at the top, and a good lift.
Time, 3 white lights.
It up fast, but for some reason I'm having issues with my glutes and locking out. So I guess who's having to do hip thrusters now because their glutes are weak AF. Yeah, just having a hard time locking out today. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't warm up my glutes properly or something, or maybe they're just torn from squats. I don't know.
And Nathan's coming out now for 207.5 kilos. Nathan increased his first to second by 7.5. Sub-junior 66. He's 17.5 kilos behind the next place. Just got to bring those hips through. And he does.
And what
See
do
what the
they
referees say.
Yeah, so having a very hard time locking out that day. I literally think it's just from the weight cut. I think being that light of a weight at 6'1", low body fat percentage, I should have been competing as for physique, not powerlifting. So I was extremely lean, ripped. I don't even know if I would have placed well in physique show, but I think I would have done better than what I did performing at nationals. Just kidding. I really don't know anything about bodybuilding really when it comes to competing. So I think it's just like you have to have like a tiny waist, well-defined abs, broader shoulders, kind of like that Dorito shaped kind of model look. But yeah, so I had a hard time locking out 207.5, and I didn't think I was going to get the next one. So I didn't hand my slip in. I just let it raise to 210 kilos, which I did not make, but we are going to see.
With 522 and a half, Magnus has now put in 215. But Magnus is heavier, so he has to win by 2.2. He cannot tie Ryan. Nathan gets
Not
3/4
quite
way up,
effort out
and then
there,
just doesn't have the
Nathaniel.
strength to pull it through.
Okay, so this announcer guy, he in squat and bench he called me Nathaniel, which really I don't have a problem with people pronouncing my name like that. I can definitely understand that he doesn't want to offend people, or maybe he's trying to use an accent. I don't know. Whatever he is, he's pronouncing it a little funny. I don't care. Glad that he basically got my name right. Some people just don't pronounce it right at all, and it's bizarre to me. However, I'm not that good with names either, so I'm not going to bash people who can't get names right because I suck just as much. But by my deadlifts, he started calling me Nathan, and I absolutely hate being called Nathan. So, yeah, don't call me Nathan because Nathan is not my name. Call me Nate. Lots of people call me Nate or Nate Dog or Nathaniel or W because my last name's Woodward, and I used to go to class with another Nathaniel, so they called me W and they called him Nathaniel. Anyways, I just don't like Nathan, so that's my rant for the day. Please don't call me Nathan, just use my regular name or some nickname that you made up for me that's made up for me. Yeah, whatever. He started calling me Nathan, and I did not like it at all. I wanted to and call him Nathan. See how he liked that. Anyways. So, yep, that was the meet. I took home second.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And I just want to make this one point clear, just so that I don't sound like I got second just because I was sick. My personal performance, and how I felt the day of, and how well I thought I did with my lifts, and how good or how high my energy levels were definitely based off of me being sick. I didn't feel that good. I wasn't performing as well as I thought I could be, and cutting weight was rough. I was sick. It wasn't a good meet. It was probably my worst meet to date. If I were to have to put one in the books, competing at CPU Nationals and putting up the performance that I did, I was not satisfied with. However, even if I was not sick, and I had performed to the best of my ability of which I had expected to do when I was testing openers a week or two prior, I still wouldn't have claimed first place. So, being first place did not affect whether I was being sick or not. I was not going to claim it either way. I didn't know that till the day of. I kind of figured it, but I didn't know until the day of, for sure. So just letting you guys know that me being sick had nothing to do with where I placed. It just had everything to do with my personal performance and how happy I was with the meet. That is basically CPU Nationals in a bundle for me. From this point on, I literally made myself like some amino acids so I could drink here, watch CPU Nationals, and talk to you guys. And I literally forgot about it until now. So I'm going to take a couple sips. I'm going to let you guys watch. I'm drinking this Amino Core iced tea. And I was using it while I was dieting because, like, while I was dieting, and especially while I was on keto for a little bit, I had, like, 0-calorie drinks. So that's, like, black coffee, black tea, water, sparkling waters, stuff like that. And I would have my supplements that I would take, and something like this that tastes exactly like iced tea helped me so much. Like, drinking amino acids that taste exactly like iced tea is like drinking iced tea, but not. From this point on, I am currently in a bulk, a greasy bulk. not greasy, just kidding. It's it definitely is. I'm definitely in a bulk with a surplus way higher than it needs to be. But I'm kind of really sick and tired of being this tiny that I don't care if I put on an extra layer of fat. My only goal is to stay below 15% body fat while I bulk. So I'm gonna let you guys know. I'll go more in depth in another video if you guys want. But basically where I'm at is on training days. I've switched to training 5 days a week now, 5 to 6 days a week. On days I train, I eat 4,000 calories. On days I don't train, I eat 3,000. For a month, I will be doing that. So by that I mean on days I train 4,000, on days I don't train 3,000. When the month is done, I am going to go for a week. On days I do train 3,000, on days I don't train 2,000. And then for that week, it'll be done. Once that week's over, I'll go back up for a month, back to 4,000, 3,000, and then when that month's done, I'll go back to 3,000, 2,000, and I'll see where I'm at after 2 months to see where I'm liking. I'm switching my style of training a little bit, but we'll get into that in another video. But yeah, that was CPU Nationals. Currently, I am in a bulk going up to the 83 kilogram weight class, guys. I still have 6 months as a sub-junior, so I still have provincials and westerns to compete as, and we're gonna see how well I do there. Hopefully a lot better. I got professional pictures taken for CPU Nationals, so we're gonna be posting some of those on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. I'll leave a link in my bio and a cool little thing right here. Make sure to subscribe if you like the channel. If you don't like the channel, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with this. If not, yeah, you guys do what you want, but I'd recommend subscribing because as of CPU Nationals being over, I'm going to do my best to dedicate more time to you guys and more, I don't know, screen time? What do you call this? Camera time, maybe? I'm just going to try uploading more videos. And now that I can eat, we're going to definitely do more food challenges, but not speed ones. I suck at speed challenges, but definitely can eat a lot of food. So we're going to do some of those. Yeah, you guys stay strong, and we'll see you in the next one.